You open the front door after a long day. Before you even step inside, you hear it. The scramble. The frantic tap of nails against the floor. A small body launching itself toward you with everything it has. And for 1 second, the whole world gets simpler. Then something unexpected happens. Your dog stops, spins around, and disappears. Just for a moment. You stand there, bag still in hand, slightly confused. Then it comes back, toy in mouth, tail sweeping wide arcs through the air. Eyes locked onto yours with an intensity that feels almost ceremonial. It doesn't drop the toy. Doesn't demand you throw it. Doesn't bolt around the room in wild circles. It simply stands there, holding the object, looking at you, like it's been waiting all day to do exactly this. Most owners smile, maybe laugh, and move on with their evening. Yeah, they assume it's just their dog being their dog. Cute, a little goofy, impossible not to love. But what if that moment means something far deeper than anyone realizes? The detail almost everyone misses. Here's what's easy to overlook. Your dog didn't grab any object. It didn't snatch a shoe from the hallway or grab whatever happened to be closest to the door. It went somewhere specific, retrieved something specific, and brought that thing back to greet you. Animal behavior researchers were the first to notice how consistent this pattern really is. Dogs don't rotate randomly through their toys during greetings. They tend to return to the same object, a particular ball, a favorite stuffed animal, a squeaky toy that's been chewed down to a vague shape nobody else would recognize. They choose it deliberately, or at least, there's something inside them does. And once they have it, their whole body changes. The frantic energy that launched them across the room softens, breathing slows, posture settles. The dog that looked like it might vibrate through the walls is suddenly calm enough to stand still and hold eye contact. That's not what pure excitement looks like. Pure excitement is chaos, jumping, spinning, barking, running laps. This is something more structured, more intentional, which raises a question that changes everything. What if bringing the toy isn't about the toy at all? An ancient ritual. You've been watching without knowing it. To understand what's really happening, you have to go back, long before dogs lived in houses, long before they had names or beds or favorite squeaky toys. Their ancestors lived in tightly bonded social groups where survival depended on cooperation. And in those groups, reunions weren't casual moments. They were events. When a wolf returned to the pack after being away, even for a few hours, the other members responded with highly structured behaviors. There was physical contact, vocal signals, submissive gestures, and sometimes the deliberate initiation of play. These weren't random expressions of happiness. They were rituals that served a precise social function, confirming that the bond was still intact. That cooperation and trust hadn't eroded during the separation, that the group was whole again. Researchers at Eötvös Loránd University in Budapest, one of the world's leading centers for canine cognition, have spent years studying how these ancient social instincts express themselves in the modern dog's relationship with humans. What they found is striking. Dogs don't experience their owners the way most people think. They don't simply see a caretaker who provides food and shelter. They treat their primary human as the central member of their social world, someone who occupies the same emotional role that a key pack member once did for their wolf ancestors. Which means every time you leave the house, something registers in your dog's brain as a social separation. And every time you come back, the reunion needs to be marked. The toy is the marking, not a game, not a random burst of energy, a social offering, the domestic descendant of a greeting ritual that predates everything we think of as civilization. Your dog, standing at the door, holding that worn tennis ball, looking up at you, is doing something wolves did for thousands of years before the first dog ever crossed a threshold into a human home. You came back. We're together again. Here, I brought something to share. What's actually happening inside your dog's brain? In the seconds after your key turns in the lock, your dog's brain doesn't just register your arrival. It responds to it, chemically, physically, completely. Circuits linked to social reward activate immediately. Oxytocin, often called the bonding hormone, floods the system. It's the same chemical that surges between a mother and newborn, between close friends reuniting after months apart, and between any two creatures whose brains are wired to recognize each other as safe. When oxytocin rises, the brain quiets its threat detection systems. Stress hormones like cortisol begin to fall. The body shifts from vigilance into warmth. But here's what makes the toy-grabbing behavior so fascinating from a neuroscience perspective. That emotional surge, the oxytocin, the excitement, the relief, is intense, almost overwhelming. Any dog owner knows what unregulated reunion excitement looks like. Jumping, spinning, inability to settle, sometimes even a loss of bladder control. The toy prevents all of that. When your dog picks up an object before greeting you, it gives the brain something to organize around. The emotional wave finds a channel. Instead of flooding out in every direction at once, the excitement gets directed into a single, I-controlled behavior. Carry this. Bring it. Present it. Breathing stabilizes. Muscles soften. The dog that was about to explode with joy becomes a dog that can actually stand in front of you and make real contact. The toy isn't an expression of excitement. It's a tool for managing it. A bridge between the overwhelming emotional intensity of reunion and the calm, connected moment the dog actually wants to share with you. Your brain is part of this too. Here's the part of the story that almost never gets told. When your dog greets you with that toy, your brain doesn't just observe what's happening. It participates. Studies on human-animal interaction have consistently found that reunions with pets trigger oxytocin release in humans as well, so the same bonding chemistry that activates in your dog's brain begins to rise in yours during moments of eye contact, physical touch, or playful, affectionate interaction. Your dog appears with the toy. You smile. Maybe you laugh. Maybe you crouch down and reach for it. And in that single gesture, that small, slightly silly exchange of a battered stuffed animal at the front door, both nervous systems begin to settle into the same rhythm. Your dog's excitement softens into presence. Your tension from the day quietly drains away. What looks like a dog doing something adorable is actually a finely tuned, two-way emotional reset. A moment that evolved, across thousands of years and two entirely different species, to do exactly what it does. Reconnect you both. Bring you back into sync. Remind each of you that the other is here. The warning hidden in a missing toy. Because this behavior is so deeply tied to bonding and emotional security, any change in it is worth paying attention to. Dogs that consistently greet their owners with a toy are showing something healthy. Their brain has learned to expect the reunion. The ritual is predictable, rewarding, and safe. It's a sign that the emotional connection between dog and human is working the way it's supposed to. But a dog that once greeted you this way, and suddenly doesn't, may be communicating something it has no other way to say. Sometimes the reason is simple. Age changes everything. An older dog may still be overjoyed to see you, but the energy required to grab a toy and parade it across the room isn't there anymore. The greeting becomes quieter, gentler, just as meaningful, but different in form. Other times, the shift points to something that deserves closer attention. Stress, boredom, a change in routine that has altered how your dog experiences the hours between your departures and returns. Emotional disconnection that has gradually, silently grown. Dogs almost never announce when something is wrong. They don't pace dramatically or stare at you with accusatory eyes. They simply change. In small ways, in familiar patterns, in the tiny rituals you might not even notice unless you're paying attention. A toy greeting that disappears is one of those signals. Not a crisis, but a message worth receiving. So the next time you put your key in the door, pause for just a moment before you open it. Listen for the sound of nails on the floor. Watch for the disappearance, that brief, purposeful dash away from you. And then watch for the return. The toy held gently in the mouth, the tail moving like it never wants to stop. The eyes finding yours with an expression that has no name in any human language, but that every dog owner recognizes instantly. It might look like a small, sweet habit, the kind of thing you mention to friends because it makes you smile. But inside your dog's brain, something ancient is unfolding at your front door. A reunion ritual older than language, older than houses, older than the bond between our two species, which is itself the longest friendship in the natural world. Your dog is telling you something, in the only language it has ever needed. You came back. We are whole again. And I wanted you to know that I knew, the whole time you were gone, that you would.